الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. أما بعد، فإن أحسن الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وإن شر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة بالنار. أما بعد, جزاكم الله خير. My dear respect brothers and sisters, I hope that all of you are doing great. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us and gather us with His angels as we are giving this talk. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase our knowledge with Allah ta'ala. As we continue to talk about the book of Ibn al-Qayyim, The Disease and the Cure, one of the most important aspects that many people tend to neglect, and we've been talking about this for quite some time, is the punishments of the sins. And one of the greatest punishments, brother and sister, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about in the Quran, talked about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would punish people who does not obey Him by making them forget about themselves. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ ولا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم أولئك هم الفاسقون. And do not be like those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who have forgot about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them forget about themselves. Indeed, these are the people who does mischief. So the question here, brothers and sisters, what does it mean that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forget about us? And what does it mean when someone forget about himself? That's a very critical question that we need to ask ourselves. And this is something, brothers and sisters, that we need to kind of make sure that we get this to the bottom. Many people many people talked about like the issue of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forget about someone, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forget about you. The question here, brothers and sisters, that we need to address here is that one of the greatest effect of the sins, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He's going to make you forget. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would forget about you. That's the very first one. And then after that also, and in relationship to that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would make you forget about your own self. Okay. And this is very critical too. So the question here so we need to answer, we have to ask ourselves, we have to answer two questions. What does it mean that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does it mean when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would forget about you? And what does it mean when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you forget about yourself? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Nasullaha fanasiyahum. They forgot about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgot about them. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forget about you? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would ignore you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would make your life blessless. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not answer your dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would make you live a life that is where you are detached from Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will live a life that have no blessings, have no tranquility, have no connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You live a life where you're fully depressed, you're fully ignored, you're fully not have no connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would let go of you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He did not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He does not forget وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ about it. But the meaning when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forget about you, meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would neglect you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would neglect you. He would not answer your dua. He would not make you among the people who are closer to Him. You would live a person, as an outcast. When someone, for instance, imagine, brothers and sisters, and here I'm just giving you an analogy. Imagine if someone is living in the same house as his parents, and his parents does not talk to him. How does he feel? He feel like he's always alone in his room. Maybe his brother or sister does not talk to him. He's fully he does not have dinner with them. He does not talk to them. When something happened in the family, he's being ignored, being outcasted. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. Something like this, but even worse. Okay, and even worse. And now, when as this happening, he would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would make you forget about your own self. What does that mean? You would forget. What does it mean when someone forget about himself? Like how could someone forget about himself? Is that the fact that you would not know what is good for yourself. You don't know how to establish real happiness. You don't know how to, you don't know how to accomplish, good goals in your life. You don't know, you don't remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't know your faults and mistakes, and you don't work on your faults and mistakes. You could be spiritually have many diseases, and you don't know what's good for you and how to cure these diseases. Like you'll see someone, for instance, who was possibly, you know here we're not talking about academic success. Yeah, anybody could be success academically. Yeah, somebody who could be, you know rich. That's not success. That's, I mean, you could be success. You could be, for instance, have $1 million, but you're depressed. You have $1 million, but you have no children. You have $1 million, and how many? You have $1 million, but you're disconnected from everybody around you. You have $1 million, but you're sad from inside. You see, so you have a lot of spiritual diseases. You don't know what is good for you, and what is worse of a punishment when someone knows he have issues, knows have problem. His brain is always busy. He's always sad. I mean, you could have the money of the world. You could literally have the money of the world, but yet inside you're empty. You're sad. You're depressed. You feel outcasted. You don't know what's good for you. You maybe you recognize you have issues, but you don't even work on your problem. Imagine that, brothers and sisters. They have no reason for them to know what is good for them. They sold their life with the cheapest amount of money. The cheapest amount of money, and that's why, brothers and sisters. Yeah, one of the names of the hereafter, they call it Yom al. What does it mean, Yom al? Yom al is when someone felt that he's being cheated. Like when the people of Jannah enter the Jannah, and the people of the hellfire enter the hellfire. The people of the hellfire felt that they have sold this life for such a cheap price for them to gain the here for them to enter into the hellfire. They felt that being cheated. Like, how can I sell my life for such a cheap price? And I looking at the people of Jannah, where they are at right now, what they have done, what could I have done? And I would have, and if I would have done what they have done, I would be in their place. They sold, their life for such a cheap price. And if I have stepped in their footsteps, if I have followed their lead, I would be like them. And that's why they feel like this jealousy. They feel this feeling of being cheated. يوم التغابن. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, أولئك الذين اشتروا الحياة الدنيا بالآخرة فلا يخفف عنهم العذاب ولا هم ينصرون. Those who have bought the hereafter, or they have bought this dunya with the price of the hereafter. So in that day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not going to decrease the punishment on them, nor will be among the winners. فما ربحت تجارتهم فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين. The the commodity of which that they have sold this dunya for have not won, nor they're among the guided ones. So imagine, brothers and sisters, when, yeah, here in this dunya, if someone, yani, fooled you with not $20, he fooled you with $1. You feel cheated, right? You feel like, how could someone betray me, even if it was $1? Yeah, and if someone literally, people have that. I mean, this is a normal feeling. If someone cheated you with $1, you feel like, and he have took away something that he does not deserve. But what about if someone felt He being betrayed for his whole life. He felt that he have sold his whole life for something cheap, for something يعني as Allah subhanahu as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that this whole dunya is not worth a wing of a mosquito on the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he would not give this dunya to anyone, to the least of people. But imagine if someone in that day, you feel that you are all of this life, you cheated yourself, and you sold all of this life for such a cheap price. And what is this dunya? As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَيَوْمَ يَحْشُرُهُمْ وَيَوْمَ يَحْشُرُهُم كَأَن لَّمْ يَلْبَثُوا إِلَّا سَاعَةً مِّن نَّهَارٍ يَتَعَارَفُونَ بَيْنَهُم. On that day when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gather all of us, they would think this dunya was not, it was just like an hour, 1 hour during the daytime. Look how quickly it is. 1 hour during the daytime. And as if the 1 hour in the daytime we're trying to know each other. Subhanallah. This is dunya, brothers and sisters. This is the dunya, brothers and sisters. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ السَّاعَةِ أَيَّانَ مُرْسَاهَا فِيمَ أَنْتَ مِنْ ذِكْرَاهَا إِلَى رَبِّكَ مُنْتَهَاهَا إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُنْذِرُ مَنْ يَخْشَاهَا كَأَنَّهُمْ يَوْمَ يَرَوْنَهَا لَمْ يَلْبَثُوا إِلَّا عَشِيَّةً أَوْ ضُحَاهَا كَأَنَّهُمْ يَوْمَ يَرَوْنَهَا. And that day they will see this life, this whole life. They see all of this life. لم يلبثوا إلا عشية أو ضحى. It's like a this whole life is like a one night, a few hours within the night, or a little bit of time during the daytime. This whole life, and you sold all of this life for such a cheap price because you want to chase after women, or chase after music, or chase after people that in the imaginary world of social media. You chase after games. You chase after people who have fooled you. You chase after luxuries. You chase after brand names and etc. So, brothers, sisters, this is how people feel. كأنهم يوم يرون ما يوعدون لم يلبثوا إلا ساعة من نهار. It's just 1 hour during the daytime. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked the people of the hereafter, and the people in Jahannam, he said, قال كم لبثتم في الأرض عدد سنين. قال كم لبثتم في الأرض عدد سنين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will be asked, how much you spent in this earth? How much? They would say, قالوا لبثنا يوما أو بعض يوم فاسأل العادين. We might have spent in this lifetime an hour, or a day, or part of a day. Ask the people who count. قال إن لبثتم إلا قليلا لو كنتم تعلمون. But indeed, yes, if you nothing but few in this world, if you truly know. So, brothers, wallahi, life is goes so fast, and even nowadays we see that how life, يعني, jump into us and flies through so much. You can even remember the beginning of the day. You can even remember what happened last week. You don't even remember how the months have passed. Well, time passes very quickly. يوم ينفخ في الصور ونحشر المجرمين يومئذ زرقا يتخافتون بينهم إن لبثتم إلا عشرا. In that day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would gather the criminals. Yeah, how much you have spent? Spent only a few days. نحن أعلم بما يقولون إذ يقول أمثلهم طريقة إن لبثتم إلا يوما. Only has spent a day. This is the reality, brothers and sisters, of this dunya. This is how all this dunya, the people that people fight over, the people that people have so much competition, the people who have tried to do, waste their time here. It's all this dunya. It's just that people think of it as a waste, and they sold all this dunya for eternity. Imagine someone would sell this dunya for eternity, you know. And how much يعني like I said, you look at the luxuries of the people of Jannah. You look at their enjoyment. You look at the amount of the castles that they have, the the joy that they are in, the rivers that are surrounded by them. You see them among the prophets and among the martyrs and among the people who are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see them, having all these luxuries, and you are being punished day and night in the hereafter because of the dunya that you have sold. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He describe the believers as the one who have bought, they have bought the best of commodities. They bought what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have sold them. إن الله اشترى من المؤمنين أنفسهم وأموالهم بأن لهم الجنة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have bought from the believers their lives and their money, their dedication. Why? Because they have Jannah. Because they fought for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have sacrificed their money and their luxuries for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who are the people who are bankrupt? The real bankruption is the people who have sold this dunya for the few that exist inside of it. So brothers and sisters, يعني, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا هل أدلكم على تجارة تنجيكم من عذاب أليم. Oh, you who believe, shall I show you of a commodity that save you, that rescue you? And that's why, brothers and sisters, you have to understand that يعني, the true believers are the one that are always busy doing things. Yes, they could be doing work, doing, but the thing is, their mind is attached to the hereafter. Their heart with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They're doing this work because just to get by, to get them the thing that they want. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. التائبون العابدون الحامدون السائحون الراكعون الساجدون الآمرون بالمعروف والناهون عن المنكر والحافظون لحدود الله وبشر المؤمنين. People who always go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those who worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who fast, those who make ruku', they pray, those who prostrate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who forbid what is wrong and they order what is right, and they know the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَبَشِّرْ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Give glad tidings to the believers because of all that they have accomplished, because of all of that they have did, because of the fact that they have bought the right commodity, and today they are the winners, and everybody else, they're among the losers. So the question here, brothers and sisters, are you willing to buy this dunya for the sake of the hereafter? Are you willing to commit sins and make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forget about you? And you will figure about your own selves and what is good for you. Think about that, brothers and sisters. And I hope that this message will get across. Jazakumullah khair. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this lesson beneficial to all of us. جزاكم الله خير لحسن معكم. سبحانك وبحمدك نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين عملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.